Well, who would have thunk it would have taken me 9 parts? Isn't that funny, cute? Yeah, Baha'i number. So I don't know if this is going to be a private one that I'm making or a public one. But this is still going out to Mike Gibson, USAF. Yeah, why I left. So it's really interesting, the time frame of your video to me. Because of some things that I've experienced in the past few days that were coming right up on each other, and they were incredibly negative experiences. And even there was one like 2 weeks ago, and I'm talking about just interactions that I'm having with people, you know, here on YouTube, having that video up. Okay, so I should take off my glasses. It's been very difficult because I'm like the lonely only girl, you know, and I have a lot of Orthodox support that, you know, they help things make sense for me, and they help me out a lot. But, you know, there's like, you know, I didn't know of any other Baha'i, or even Baha'i friendly person who, you know, well, or even had any interest, you know, people who were how they describe seekers and that kind of thing. And what's even more difficult is that it's difficult to find any Baha'i who's going to say anything that they had of experience that might have been negative, because they don't want to be, you know, backbiting. They don't want to be disparaging the face. They don't want to be gossiping. And I don't want to be doing any of those things either. But I can tell you what I experienced, positive and negative. But, you know, when you're here on YouTube, it can kind of get oddly enmeshed. And I had one of those things happen within the past few days where I was just really frustrated and really irritated, and just getting to the point where I actually, you know, someone had asked me to take down that video, and I made a video about why I wasn't going to do that. And then that video led to another series of videos where I was having to contend with people, or I was choosing to contend with people who were being negative to me. And some of them, you know, are just very hurtful. Some of them, you know, are angry at me, for lack of a better word. And I just think it's funny that, like, no, I wouldn't have taken it down, but that's when you found it. That those two things were going on at the same time. And that, you know, me feeling like I say, the lonely only girl, and that, like, not that nobody's not interested, because I do have a lot of support and I really appreciate that, and, you know, I have people who watch and la la la, but that I'd never had somebody ask questions of this caliber and nature, and that you aren't a Baha'i, so you asking these questions isn't to regain me back. I've had Baha'is who did ask me questions with that it was obvious in the back of their minds, and ones who were not. And then, of course, Baha'is who want nothing to do with me now that I've left, and Baha'is who have absolutely no opinion and are completely open and warm and genuine and loving. So there's every kind, right? But finally feeling like everything that I have been talking about, you know, for these past 6 months, actually, you know, over 300 videos or whatever I've got now, was worth it, finally. just from you asking those questions, because then I wasn't just talking about this transition to people who are loving and supportive but don't have that Baha'i component of understanding. That's, something that you have, is you have an understanding and experience personally with Baha'is, and that you have an affinity towards them, and that is wonderful. Um, so for all the times that I complained to all my friends, obviously, saying, I'm just so tired of this, I'm going to shut my channel down, and I'm blah, 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 blah. I'm required to say, or probably sing to someone who said, I told you so, I told you so, I told you so. The world ought to know. Yeah, but until you asked me, I didn't know. And I find that interesting because it's absolutely identical to when Yusuf asked me, you are my sister in Christ, are you not? Because until he asked me, I didn't know. So until you asked me, I'm not saying I didn't know what I was doing here, because I did. I was vlogging all year about, like what was happening in every church visit and so on and so forth. But you've definitely made it more than worthwhile. So thank you. Okay. Peace.